So this is sometimes called a hedge, and your broker likes it when you hedge so that you can cap your loss potential. So this 70 calls of a stock are equal to 7,000 shares. And so if these calls expire worthless, which they probably will because AVXL is a dog company, then the short can make you a lot of money. Hope that helps. Yeah, Janix looks good. If you can get cheap calls, no, I'm bearish on AVXL. But if you can get cheap calls against your position, it's usually a good thing. Racks and racks on racks. So really the broker will release you margin if you own calls, because the broker realizes that you can't lose money past that price. This is really not complicated stuff, and
order partially filled.
I would encourage you guys to just try it yourself or something. So I'm long 11,000 SMCI through these call options. I have to start shorting stock to sort of hedge. It's kind of interesting. I've made tutorials about it. You should watch the tutorial I made about 𝗥𝗩𝗘𝗢𝗡 years and years ago. I can't tell you what to trade. You guys have to figure that part out. I'm not your personal financial advisor. It's just a gamble for me, SMCI. It's not it's a trade. Don't. SMCI is like the best stock I've ever seen in my life to trade.
Order partially filled.
It's literally just
order filled.
A gift from the trading gods. For the trading gods so loved the world that he gave us SMCI. I am long SMCI.
Order partially filled.
Year to date in my portfolio is like 1,000% on this portfolio. This is like a portfolio for the lulz. Yeah, I'm just good to making like a YOLO portfolio for you guys, just to show
order partially filled.
How to use the Goodell software.
Order filled.
Right now, I'm not even doing any research. Kind of just trading YOLO. The SMCI coming in pretty hard here. You know, the only problem with the thesis is the theta decay. You can see the theta decay in the corner here. I lose $11,000 a day with those hedges. The timeline for AVXL is a little complicated because we don't know when Europe will reject it. I mean, it's sort of like within the next year. That's not really that helpful, probably. You can sell options to combat theta decay. Ha! JDH is mad. Why are you mad, JDH? How many reasons do people have to be mad at me? Let me guess. You're cassava long? You're anti-capitalist? What else? I know Active Brokers is free because it's a broker. They just provide the data free. They don't do any research. They have pretty limited features on the platform itself. Why would you short Palantir? It's a good company. They're doing everything right. There's tons of crappy companies to short. I would start with those, and then shorting good companies
partially filled.
Should come last, you know?
Order filled.
That's if you think Palantir is overvalued, which it may or may not be. Yeah, stupid DJT.
Order partially filled.
I'll be fighting this stock for the rest of my life. Tara has phase 2 data tomorrow? Man, this Biotech December is one to remember.
Order partially filled.
All right, we're out of SMCI. Oh, no, we're not out.
Order partially filled. Order filled.
Congratulations. If you made some SMCI money with me, you should subscribe to Goodell. If you didn't, you played yourself. Congratulations, you played yourself. You don't collect premiums when you buy calls. You're spending money on premiums. Oh, poor BioInvestor. Oh, BioInvestor showed up at the end. He was like, you guys were right. I'm still here learning. See, that's the problem with people like Destiny.
Partially filled.
Order filled. The problem with people like Destiny is they show people that
order filled.
If you can argue well, that you're right, and that's just not reality. Just because you can argue well does not mean you're right about anything.
Order partially filled.
Does that make sense?
Order filled.
Like some of these guys had like really forceful arguments. I was like, no, that's cool, you know? Maybe you're right. But it's like, no, the more like forcefully you argue, I could argue forcefully too. You just gotta be measured, like intellectually. Yeah, no, you're right, Anthony. They never make sense. But you know how you notice how you'll say something like, well, I'm bearish because that controlled withdrawal study, it didn't meet its primary endpoint. The p-value failed. And they're like, well, that's because there's a follow-on effect, stupid. And you're like, okay. I understand that you think that when you stop taking this drug, it keeps working somehow. But that's typically not how it works. And they're like, well, how do you think cancer drugs work then, stupid? Like, Jesus Christ. What do you think these Alzheimer's patients are getting better on their own by accident? Like, oh, okay. Stop attacking me. This is a wild stock. Like, there's nothing like SMCI. I'm just gonna have to buy back some because I want round 2, baby. Yeah, so for these development stage biotechs, really the 10Q doesn't help you too much. You have to read the press releases. No, it's usually there's some reason, JP. It could be a balance sheet thing. It could be anything. Yeah, international filings are one of the main reasons you would want to use a terminal system. Gonna buy my SMCI calls back. Extremely out of the money. These are at the money now. They were extremely in the money. Now they're just at the money. This is usually pretty bearish when you get a big reversal like that. But SMCI, you're like, all bets are off, man. Yeah, no, NOMZs, it's possible. A lot of people separate transaction and research. But yeah, I think we could do something like that. Yeah, let's look at Rezolute real quick. Federated owns like a quarter of the company. Some smaller hedge funds own a bunch of it. There's a little bit of documentation. You should be able to figure it out or look at Bloomberg documentation or ask chat. I'll make a video at some point when we're closer to public launch. Oh, they have a Zoma royalty. Interesting. They got this from Zoma. A biotech long I like. Oh, I have to look at the data. Oh, I know this guy. I don't have a solid opinion on Nomura. I see both sides. It's probably gonna fail. I just don't like to bet big on things that I'm not sure about. Yeah, they hired an outside law firm. That's the key thing with SMCI. A law firm, for better or worse, has a good reputation. I don't think they should. I got in big fights with them myself, but that's kind of how that works. When you tell me something that says solves autoimmune disease, that sounds really bearish.
Order partially filled.
Can anybody tell this guy why saying solves autoimmune disease sounds bearish? That makes me want to not look at it. Or look at it as a short. All of them. Every autoimmune disease. Lupus, MS. I gotta look it up. Hold on. I don't think SMCI is good value. It's just good. It's a good trading stock. I think people have been talking about Cabo for a while. This is not a new thing. It went from 25 to 1 back to 4. And you probably noticed that it went from 1 to 4 and got excited. But it doesn't sound like you really know what they do. Or I always buy stocks that I don't know what the company does. I love it. You know, every company presents at investor conferences. That's normal. I hate these noobs, man. If you're a noob, shut your mouth and watch. Don't tell me what to do if you're a noob. Learn the vocab. I'm not short on anything. I'm just short something, right? I'm a short Kaba just because. Just because you're in it, I'm a short it. I fade you. You're a zero. I'm even gonna write a short report on you. Then I'm gonna go activist. I'm gonna talk to your girlfriend, your wife, your kids. Listen, we're all shorting this guy, all right? This man is a problem. Yeah, old Shkreli. Let's leave the old Shkreli in prison, all right? All right, Leap Therapeutics. $2 stock. These guys changed their ticker. We got Wall Street Bets guys talking like they read the whole 𝗙𝗢𝗡𝗦 immunology book, like they know all the blood lineages. You know all HSPC lineage, right? Wall Street Bets for 5 minutes. I'm an immunologist. Give me the stethoscope. Where are my stains at? I'm in med school? Wow. Where the scalpel at? Yeah, Wall Street Bets has never been right about a drug stock ever. Unless it was me. Where did it say Jane Street made $14 billion? I see it now. Net trading revenue. EBIT, $4 billion. Wow. Unbelievable. These guys have a ton of cash. It's trading below cash, now it's trading back to cash. Yeah, I mean, I'd honestly rather be long than short because it's trading so close to cash. It's kind of remarkable. does show you the enthusiasm for the company's actual products is pretty limited. But yeah, I can't, yeah, I don't know if it's deep value. Deep value in biotech usually maybe only if there is a FDA-approved product. They have a lot of cash. It doesn't make it a short, but I doubt it. It just makes it bad risk-reward to short. But I wouldn't be long it. It was a good buy when it was trading below cash. Promising results. How do you know it's promising and what isn't? I don't know if you pay margin interest if you cover your short the same day. Good question. Like a couple days of interest, so it's not that much, not that expensive. Enron, things are looking up. Stock has been beaten up, been quiet, looking like a snack. All right, so has Webtoon never had a quarterly earnings press release yet because they just put public? There's IPO. Where the earnings at? Financials, quarterly results. Okay, there we go. We got 2 quarterly earnings. I did see Matt Nachtrev valiantly advocating for the cassava patients to get their drug that doesn't work. Yeah, it's the basic idea. T-Sizzle, I do think traders in DJT will give up on it or sell it as they realize it's not going to be their salvation. Yeah, we do software internships. One of our interns started today. I don't think every trader said that in Market Wizards. The whole point of Market Wizards is there's lots of different trader interviews and you can gain some insight from it. Not necessarily like exactly prescriptively what to do. I need a masseuse, man. I need a full-time masseuse. I sold all my SMCI at like 45. Got very lucky there. It's like I said before, it's a good trading stock. It does a lot of mean reversion, goes back and forth and back. Masseuse get equity in Godel. I guess. Get a little bit. Chegg was a long. It's gone up a lot, man. I'm just going to kind of ignore it until next quarter. I'm glad people made money on it, but it's gone up a lot. I don't know management. Management didn't get back to me. Seems like they're going to run it into the ground probably. I don't trust nobody, but I definitely don't trust them. I've been saying that if you have a lot of Chegg to trim it for a while now, it's up 50%. Like, it's probably time to book your profit. But listen, everybody has to make their own decisions around here, right? I'm not going to hold your hand. Well, you think I work for Merrill Lynch? I'm your financial advisor? Hit that X button. Unsubscribe, unfollow. Yeah, I should take over as Chegg. I just don't have the time. I thought about it. I asked a couple of my rich friends what they thought. Would they back it? Back a deal? We should have a members-only section on Godel, honestly. Yes, we do internships for extremely competitive software engineers. People who work for free. I think we want to pay you. That's not like attractive to us. That's actually unattractive because we have money. We're happy to pay. We want talented people. So free thing kind of, yeah, weirds me out a little. Well, we're backed by VC, but we're also backed by revenue, which is nice. We're almost profitable. There's only 2 guys in the history of Forbes that have told Forbes how much they're worth and begged Forbes for put them as high as possible on the Forbes list. There's Prince Aloid and Donald Trump.
You got the wrong number. I'm worth at least $27 trillion. I can't believe you only put me at $2 billion. It's wrong. $2 billion. I sneeze on that money. It's nothing. Buy Trump steak knives.
Yeah, awesome, Stefan. I'd love to chat with you in all seriousness. Remote is not our favorite thing unless the only way I would consider a remote job is if you were an expert financial programmer. So you knew ETL and you did that on the serious production system for financial information. Huge amounts of market data, something like that. I'd consider remote for that because it's such an important need for us. But no, nothing else would I consider remote. I don't think we'd take less than 25 or 50, depending on who the person is. I don't need to start a hedge fund. I'm happy trading my own money. I think I can make more money running a software company. Entrepreneurship is very, very lucrative. You know, you can build a company and sell it for billions of dollars. Trading to make billions of dollars, it's not as easy. They're both very hard, and they're both great ways to make money. You know, in hedge funds, you sort of have to build an asset management business that's more than just you. And, you know, I tried it. It's really not for me. A lot of rules, a lot of regulations. I'm probably banned in some ways. entrepreneurship is a little more free form. You can kind of do things. Again, I'm not throwing shade at anybody. You know, the guys that are making money trading, God bless them. Yeah, I would say that in the hedge fund world, the hedge fund owner does a lot better than the hedge fund pod trader. But, you know, it's all relative. All right, I still want to look at this Webtoon. Okay, so these guys did not grow a quarter to go. No. I don't think we want Ivy League grads. Ivy League grads are a little dangerous. Okay, so Webtoon is interesting, but probably not a buy until I learn more about the company and what it is that they do. I don't know if this is a good stock. It's very unclear. Webtoon. They just went public, so sometimes it's hard to diligence companies that just went public, but there's also an opportunity in companies that just went public, because there's less information available on them. It's like a weird, like, media business. Now, I wouldn't follow any stock trackers, especially not for politicians. Not Nancy, not anybody. Learn how to invest yourself. I want to learn a little bit more about it, but it's kind of like a YouTube for anime, sort of. I don't know how much it can grow in the US, but it's sort of cheap. Sort of. It's definitely going to be worth looking at in the future. There's a bunch of people who send me messages that, like, somebody is, like, monitoring their thoughts, or they're using their mind as like a device to, like, I don't know, transmit signals or something. It's pretty funny stuff. This one guy who sends me these emails about it, and he's sort of funny. It might be the same guy. And he's like, he'll ask me stuff like, do you know of any drugs for, like, mind control and stuff like that? And I read it because if you send me an email that talks about drugs or something, I'm going to be like, oh, let me see.
Order partially filled.
Oh, you're schizo. Oh, you're schizo.
Order partially filled.
Schizo poster, huh?
Order partially filled.
Bristol Myers does have a new drug for that. Honestly, the trading I do is not really how I do well. First and foremost, I'm an entrepreneur. There are a lot better traders and even arguably better investors out there than me. Maybe not so much true in biopharma, but regardless. There are definitely better traders. So just keep that in mind. They're just not going to be on YouTube or Citadel or something. I'm a very good analyst for long-term investing, but when you see me trading, take it with a grain of salt. You know, I'm not some, like, you know, great trader. Well, Godel just started. If you can make a better platform, go ahead and give it a shot. Citadel is just a good investment firm. I mean, it's no different. 0.72 Millennium, all the Balyazny. I actually like Voyager. It's trading near cash. Nobody's really tried these gene therapy approaches, and they're pretty good approaches. I'm not sure how they can do the trials exactly, but somewhat attractive. Yeah, you can just walk. There are some great minds that were gym rats, actually. Dr. Nick, my favorite. Henry Nicholas. Peter's up there. He's a wonderful investor. I like him a lot. I like him as a person as well. Definitely one of the best startup investors ever. Also, the double threat as a great entrepreneur. And he co-founded Palantir, which a lot of people forget. Palantir wouldn't be here without Thiel. Palantir. Nova's new model. I'm not watching the reinvent stuff. AWS invent. I don't think people have an impact on me when I meet them. You know, just meeting somebody doesn't change you. Yeah, but I don't say that about every single person at HTC. Yeah, I mean, Thiel's invested like $20-30 billion in new companies, so you're never going to see me cooking.
Order partially filled.
I think we want to be like AWS. We want our product to work for everyone. I don't think we'd IPO this year or next year, but maybe a year after that. I'd have to convince Trump to let me get a new IPO. I know the banks would do it, and I know the exchanges would do it. I just got to get Trump to let it go. But otherwise, I would do it in another country. SEC won't let me be. Okay. Darker is better. Got it. Thanks, guys. 33 by 30. Do you think that'll fit? I'm a bit fatter than I used to be. I'm 5'10". 35. 28. Jesus Christ. Okay, it's 32. All right. Well, the fit is different for each brand, too. It's not like, you know, it's that simple. Someone from Polymarket reached out, and they asked me if I wanted to make any new bets or something, and I told them that they did me dirty, man. They Did me dirty. Looking at an insurance company called EVEREST Group. I don't know the first thing about insurance. This is going to be a little cringe. Listen, how attractive somebody is or isn't should not make any role of difference in the corporation. I'm very strict about that. Yes, I've worked with some beautiful women, but I am very, very strict. You should not ever, ever, ever
Order filled.
worry about that at a corporation. You know, and I'm a hound dog like the rest of you guys, but there's one rule you don't break. That's the rule. You know, men and women will do their thing, you know, it's normal. But if you're a senior executive, don't you ever worry about that kind of thing.
Order partially filled.
You're just asking for trouble. That is one of the sayings, but the only exception I would say, if the woman approached you and said, I'm in love with you, and you keep the straightest face ever, you could say, I would like to continue this discussion, but I'm not able to. Would you be okay with talking to my attorney? Possibly that could move forward. Possibly. And then she says, why do I have to talk to your attorney? My attorney has further information on this matter. Good day, ma'am. Just walk away. You give her the attorney's business card. And then they call the attorney, and I'm pretending I'm the attorney. Yes? Yes, Mr. Shkreli said that you'd be calling. Listen, let me be blunt. Mr. Shkreli, my client, he may have interest in your proposal, but the only condition which he would take it seriously is only if you would resign your position from the company. You can no longer work for the company and see Mr. Shkreli romantically. Other than that, he wishes no further communication with you, and he'd rather not speak to you again in the office. You know, he takes integrity very seriously. So if you wanted to pursue this, you could not be an employee of the company. It does not mean you're fired. It doesn't mean any of those things. It just means he would not be comfortable seeing you romantically if you also worked at the company. And that's maybe the most extreme case. She better be, you know, your dream girl. Otherwise, it's all going to end poorly. I think Nomura is a short, but I also think I have better uses of capital right now. I think Rothbaum's pretty good. Don't know him that well. Did she say approval is imminent? That's an interesting word to use. I mean, is that what she said on a conference call, or where? Maybe that's how she got all those pipes done. Decision imminent or approval imminent? Which conference call? I should go to this conference. I'll go to this 2 days from now. Let's see. Q3 call?
That said, we all...
No, you don't understand, Q-tip. I really don't think you understand biopharma. When it comes to FDA interactions, like, this is one of the most bearish primary endpoint questions ever. And how do you do a primary endpoint on 70 patients? What kind of power do you have? Do you do non-inferiority? What is it? What is the primary endpoint? This is like really bad. You know, this is what's important. Like this 1 or 2 minutes, this is what's critical. Primary endpoint.
A handful with a couple points, or if it was...
I think they'll get a CRL. We'll see. Why did they get approval?
Well,
Look, you know, we're all trying to figure this out. You know, if I said I was 100% sure, that's one thing. But I also don't know when they're going to get a response. This thing's taking forever. Usually FDA is like a week or 2 late. This is bizarre. And they're not getting the back and forth that would seem like they're going to get an approval. So I doubt they're going to get approval, but it's, you know, we're all trying to figure it out. I mean, we all want to make money. I don't think any of us wants to rest on ceremony. The only person that wins here is the person that gets it right. And nobody knows, unless you got a guy inside the FDA, nobody knows what's going to happen. But this primary endpoint with, well, it feels like it's like 95% of CRL is coming. Well, what is their primary endpoint? It's some weird comparison against a historical control.
Order filled.
Who thought that was a good idea? Historical control? Playoffs? What is the primary endpoint of 05? Simple question. It seems like analysts, it depends on what the FDA says. They say they rejected it because it isn't durable or something like
Autofill.
that, that's one thing. If they say they rejected it because they want more clinical data, that's another thing. If they say they rejected it because of manufacturing reasons, then that depends on a number of things too. So it's kind of all over the place. Just overvalued in general. Did you hear that she said they had 10 sales reps? Okay, 10 sales reps. One of the rules of thumb is you think, in biotech, not in medtech, in biotech, that each rep sells $1 million. That's the hope in biotech. In medtech, it's harder. So that's like we're planning on a $10 million product. This thing's a zero. Salespeople go in sales and marketing. You got to go teach doctors to use it. They're not just going to use it because it's approved. You got to go teach them. 10 people aren't going to teach anyone anything. The endpoint? Well, who would pay for that? What hospital in their right mind is going to pay for that and get reimbursed? Yeah, dude, Q-tip, I think you're in some copium there. I know a lot about, I would stick to the regulatory clinical argument. I know a lot about drug sales and device sales. 10 sales reps is not a big sales force. You got to go do training and stuff like that. It's really not fun or simple to sell medical devices. It is very hard. The PT committees are
Autofilled.
very brutal. And maybe in the surgical theater, you're not really making sense now. Like the clinical regulatory stuff you said sort of made sense. I disagree, but it sort of made sense. Look, in Ukraine, maybe they'll train on Zoom, but you understand, in the United States of America, getting a surgeon to do something differently that he's done for a long time is not something that happens overnight. I can't get doctors to prescribe like tremendous advances, actual advances, overnight, let alone modest advances, let alone surgery. These guys never take meetings. Trust me when I tell you this. You don't want 10 salespeople selling a product. That is, you're basically saying that's going to be a tiny product.
Autofilled.
I know medtech very, very well.
Order cancelled.
Are we halted? I just don't see how you approve a BLA on 70 people either. That would be one of the smallest BLAs ever, and this is not some rare disease. You can do a 600 patient trauma site study. I invested in a company that did one of those. It's 52? Jesus Christ. I know what the bull case is. I think about it every day. I'm going to the presentation. But yeah, I certainly would never be long it. Shorting it is, it's always tricky with FDA decisions, because FDA decisions should be obvious. And they're never really that obvious because you're not there, you don't know. Clinical trial data is different. It's very rare to have like an ambiguous FDA situation, and this is a bit ambiguous. Generally, the FDA will often tell you, like, don't file. You file this, we're going to reject it. But some people do it anyway for marketing reasons, public company reasons. Yeah, I'm going to try to go. Yeah, the $4 million PDUFA. I think that the BLA is not $4 million if you're a small company. Janus $300 million offering. Yikes, the big offering. Salesforce numbers are out. Okta numbers are out. Campbell Soup numbers are out. Yeah, I don't remember about 𝗤𝗢𝗡. But yeah, I can go look back at 𝗤𝗢. That's a good comp. Definitely want to look at Edwards, what they did way back when. You guys got to let me get my positions on. Oh man, look at all these releases. Okay, come on. Everything at 405. Udemy, Beyond Cancer, Box. I am short SLS. That is another zero. Huma, AVXL, SLS, those are all zeros. And they become, when do they trade at zero is another question. You gotta be very careful. Nomura has a chance. Probably never at them. Yeah, Franco, it's not easy. You just kind of have to. Yeah, AVXL is an easy, remarkably easy short. The drug just doesn't work. It's a joke. SLS, same thing. Drug doesn't work. Salesforce is up. Should be down. I don't know. I haven't looked at the numbers yet. Very focused. There's a whole bunch of these cassava type situations coming up this December. This is like the Superbowl for biopharma shorts, or Final Four, March Madness. I don't know much about Nike, I'm sorry. I'll look at it at some point soon. Salesforce must have had good guidance or good deferred revenue. Earnings are not that important. There's intuitive machines. I was not short APLT. I was short APLT after it went down, and then I covered because I had other things to do. No, there's plenty of good longs. I was looking at Rezolute earlier today. That looked good. 𝗕𝗢𝗙𝗔𝗣𝗅𝗍𝗍. You got to realize, like, I have to get my investment in first before I want to tell too many people about it. Oh, good luck in the CFA, Brian. I like Tarsus. That was a long that worked out really well. Yeah, I guess chicken guys. I mean, I don't know how much that's a big investment for you or a tiny investment for you, so I really have no clue. One. Yeah, I think Puma's a obvious sell. Part of it has to do with things like database lock and so forth. But okay, I'm gonna stream later, guys. I have to take